Welcome back, Firsties. As you know, we have been recently learning about folk tales and folk stories, and I read to you the story of Little Red Riding Hood. This is one of my favorite stories because there's so many different versions of it. So today I'm going to read you a Chinese version of it called Lom Po Po. And it's a Caldecott Medal winner. So that means that everybody thinks it's a really good book. And it's a Red Riding Hood story from China told by Ed Young. Let's go ahead and enjoy this story together now. Lom Po Po by Ed Young. A Red Riding Hood story from China. To all the wolves of the world for lending their good name as a tangible symbol for our darkness. It's interesting, right? They always choose to make the wolf a bad character. And in real life, wolves are not bad. So she is thanking him for letting us use him in that way, right? Without being upset. So once long ago, there was a woman who lived alone in the country with her 3 children, Sheng, Tao, and Paozi. On the day of their grandmother's birthday, the good mother set off to see her, leaving the 3 children at home alone. Before she left, she said, "Be good while I am away, my heart-loving children. I will not return tonight. Remember to close the door tight at sunset and latch it well." So this time, instead of Little Red Riding Hood going off on her own, the mother is going off and leaving the children home alone. And there is not 1 child, there are 3. Okay, let's see how else it's different. But an old wolf lived nearby and saw the good mother leave. At dusk, disguised as an old woman, he came up to the house of the children and knocked on the door twice. Shang, who was the eldest, said through the latch door, "Who is it?" "My little Jules," said the wolf. "This is your grandmother, your Popo." "Popo?" Shang said. "Our mother has gone to visit you." Interesting, right? Why would grandmother be at the door when mother has left to go see her? Obviously, they are curious. The wolf acted surprised. "To visit me? I have not met her along the way. She must have taken a different path." "Popo," Sheng said, "how is it that you come so late?" The wolf answered, "The journey is long, my children, and the day is short." That answer does make sense. I know my grandma walked slower than most people because she was elderly. So that does make sense. Maybe it took grandma a long time. Do you think the children should trust the wolf? Does it sound like you would believe the wolf and open the door? What do you think happens next? Sheng listened through the door. "Popo," she said, "why is your voice so low?" I remember that in the last story, right? "Your grandmother has caught a cold, good children, and it is dark and windy out here. Quickly, open up and let your Popo come in," the cunning wolf said. Tao and Paozi could not wait. One unlatched the door and the other opened it. They shouted, "Popo, Popo, come in." At the moment he entered the door, the wolf blew out the candle. "Popo," Sheng asked, "why did you blow out the candle? The room is now dark." The wolf did not answer. That reminded me of the old story, right? How it went. They're asking the same questions, and the wolf always has a good answer. What do you think will happen next? Tao and Paozi rushed to their Popo and wished to be hugged. The old wolf held Tao. "Good child, you are so plump." He embraced Paozi. "Good child, you have grown to be so sweet." Soon the old wolf pretended to be sleepy. He yawned. "Oh, the chicks are in the coop," he said. "Popo is sleepy too." When he climbed into the big bed, Patsy climbed in at one end with the wolf, and Shang and Tao climbed in the other. But when Shang stretched, she touched the wolf's tail. Popo, Popo, your foot has a bush on it. Remember in the other one when she said, you have such big teeth and big eyes and a big nose? She's saying, your foot has a big bush on it, right? How would he answer that? Look at the wolf. Scary, right? Popo has brought hemp strings to weave you a basket, the wolf said. Shang touched grandmother's sharp claws. Popo, Popo, your hand has thorns on it. Popo has brought an awl to make shoes for you, the wolf said. At once Shang lit the light, and the wolf blew it out again, but Shang had seen the wolf's hairy face. What would you do if you saw the wolf and now knew it was the wolf? What kind of plan would you make to save your sisters and you? Do you think they'll make a plan and be proactive? Let's see. Well, Popo, she said, for she was not only the eldest, she was the most clever. You must be hungry. Have you eaten ginkgo nuts? What is ginkgo? The wolf asked. Oh, ginkgo is soft and tender like the skin of a baby. One taste and you will live forever, Shang said. And the nuts grow on the top of the tree just outside the door. The wolf gave a sigh. Oh dear, Popo is old. Her bones have become brittle. No longer can she climb trees. Oh, good Popo, we can pick some for you, Shang said. The wolf was delighted. Do you think they're really going to go pick the ginkgo nuts to feed the wolf? Or do you think they have a different plan? Let's see. Shang jumped out of bed, and Tao and Patsy came with her to the ginkgo tree. There Shang told her sisters about the wolf, and all three climbed up the tall tree. The wolf waited and waited. Plump Tao did not come back. Sweet Patsy did not come back. Shang did not come back, and no one brought any nuts from the ginkgo tree. At last the wolf shouted, "Where are you, children?" "Popo," Shang called out, "we are on top of the tree eating ginkgo nuts." "Good children," the wolf begged, "pluck some for me." "But Popo, ginkgo is magic only when it is plucked directly from the tree. You must come and pluck it from the tree yourself." Can a wolf climb a tree? Well, they're in the canine family like dogs. I don't think so, right? Unless they're magic. Let's see. It's a fairy tale. The wolf came outside and paced back and forth under the tree, where he heard the children eating the ginkgo nuts at the top. "Oh, Popo, these nuts are so tasty. The skin is so tender," Shang said. The wolf's mouth began to water for a taste. He can't get up there, though. Finally, Shang, the eldest and the most clever child, said, Popo, I have a plan." She sounds proactive. At the door, there's a big basket. Behind it is a rope. Tie the rope to the basket, sit it in the basket, and throw the other end to me. I can pull you up. She made another plan, right? Does she really want the wolf up in the tree with her with his sharp teeth? Is that what you would want? Or do you think she's made another plan to be proactive? Let's go see. The wolf was overjoyed and fetched the basket and the rope, then threw one end of the rope to the top of the tree. Shang caught the rope and began to pull the basket up and up. Halfway, she let go of the rope, and the basket and the wolf fell to the ground. "I am so small and weak, Popo," Shang pretended. She didn't really drop it on accident. I think she did it on purpose to hurt this wolf. "I'm so small I could not hold the rope alone." "This time I will help," Tao said. "Let us do it again." Do you think the wolf will believe them? Do you think so? What's your prediction? Let's see. It looks like he does. The wolf had only one thought in his mind, to taste a ginkgo nut. He climbed into the basket again. Now Shang and Tao pulled the rope on the basket again. Together, higher and higher. Again they let go, and again the wolf tumbled down, down, and bumped his head. The wolf was furious. He growled and cursed. We cannot hold the rope, Popo, Shang said, but only one ginkgo nut, and you will be well again. I shall give a hand to my sisters this time, Poutsy, the youngest girl, said. This time we shall not fail. They're going to synergize, right? Do you think they really want the wolf up there, or are they going to trick him again? And do you think the wolf would fall for it a third time? Let's see. Now the children pulled the rope with all of their strength. As they pulled, they sang, hey yo, and the basket rose straight up, higher than the first time, higher than the second time, higher and higher and higher until it nearly reached the top of the tree. When the wolf reached out, he could almost touch the highest branch. But at that moment, Shang coughed, and they all let go of the rope, and the basket fell down and down and down. Not only did the wolf bump his head, but he broke his heart to pieces. Popo, Shang shouted, but there was no answer. Popo, Tao shouted, but there was no answer. Popo, Piazzi shouted. There was still no answer. The children climbed to the branches just above the wolf and saw that he was truly dead. Then they climbed down, went into the house, and closed the door. They locked the door with the latch, and then they fell peacefully asleep. They could have easily avoided this problem if they would have left the door locked, like Mom said, right? Just like in the original Red Riding Hood. Always listen to your parents. On the next day, their mother returned with the baskets of food from their real Popo, and the three sisters told her the story of the Popo who had come. And that's the end of their story. Let's get out our read and respond notebook. I'll get mine out now. Mine's pink. It doesn't matter what color yours is, as long as it has the spiral binding. Let's open it to our next open page. Make sure you have a sticky note in it so it's easy for you to find. I lost mine, so I'm going to put another one in it now because I want to be a leader. So this story was a little bit different than the original Little Red Riding Hood. So you are going to tell me one thing that you remember that was different. So we're going to say lone po. And notice that I made them all capitals because it is the title of a story. Titles are proper nouns, so they begin with a capital letter, just like your name does and my name. So Lone Po is I-S is different. Let's sound that out together. Duh. Did you hear the D? Diff. Here it is. Diff. D-I-F. Fur. F-E-R. Differ. Ent. Popo is different, and we're comparing two things. When you compare two things, you use the word than. So let's spell than now. Th. That's the digraph TH. It makes one sound. Th. An. I know an is the an family, spelled A-N. I can use that to sound it out. Long po is different than. Now we're going to write Little Red Riding Hood. Little. Do you remember when that was our sight word? L-I-T-T-L-E. Little. Red. Let's sound that out. Red. Now we're thinking riding hood. Well, I know writing. I can sound that one out. I'd. And I don't put the E because I'm going to put the suffix ing. Look what Mrs. Elkins forgot. A capital letter. It's a name of a book and a name of a person. I'm going to fix it now. Fix yours too if you made yours a lowercase. Little Red Riding Hood. Hood. How? How are they different? Tell Mrs. Elkins and Mrs. Lee how these stories are different, and then draw a picture to show it. I know one way that it was different that I remembered. Do you remember? I can't wait to see the different answers that you guys have. Bye, firsties. Make sure you're ready to share in the morning.